Hey everybody, I'm that one person, and welcome back to the Spongebob SquarePants movie video game. Did I already do this?
Awesome.
I did
You
not
have
already
enough
do
Goofy
this.
Goober tokens to earn your next ability, the Sponge Bowl.
Strike-o-matic! Oh, I forgot my spoon.
No, Sponge Bowl. It's really useful on things you don't want to get too close to. Those nasty bucketheads must be stopped. Shell City is on the other side of this dark, scary place.
Real men aren't afraid of the dark.
You need to get across this trench.
Real men aren't afraid of the trench.
Of course they're not. Just look out for monsters.
Monsters.
Okay, normally I would do a little rundown about what's going on, but I mean, you pretty much just got it right there. We're at the trench part of the game. Regardless, I don't know, whatever. In the last episode, we did not have a good time. That's just the fact of the matter here. The last episode, I did the fucking trench slide level, and I hated it, because I've always hated it.
Get up here and fight like a starfish!
Come on, wherever you are.
But anyway, after that level, now we have a level that's focused around the Sponge Bowl. And, I mean, you probably already figured that out. But another thing that you've also probably already figured out, I've mentioned this before, a lot of the abilities in this game are just straight up redone. They're pretty much just copies of the abilities from Battle for Bikini Bottom. So obviously the Sponge Bowl is just the Bubble Bowl again. But it's kind of weird seeing how a lot of the stages in this game also just kind of do, like, just focus on one specific ability. Like, I mean, that's fine, they did that in Battle for Bikini Bottom too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it just feels like it's the same general idea over again, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't even know if I described that very well. It's weird because this whole game isn't really like, I don't know, it just feels like a redone version of the entirety of Battle for Bikini Bottom in a way, I guess. I'm not even sure I know what I'm trying to say at this point. But I'm sure there's someone out there who understands what the fuck I'm trying to talk about. Are we already past the first minute? Okay, we're 3 minutes in. That's fine. I can say the fuck word now. Anyway. It's weird that the entire idea of a lot of levels are so similar to Battle for Bikini Bottom. Like, it's the same general... It's like a different take on the same thing. In Battle for Bikini Bottom... What was the stage that was focused on the Bubble Bowl? I think it was the Mermalair? Maybe? But yeah, since that was basically the whole general concept of that level, it's just like the different takes on the same idea for a level, is what I'm trying to say. While also still being themed around SpongeBob. You know? I don't know. I'm not very good at describing things. You get what I'm trying to say, though, right? You probably don't. What I'm trying to say... Should I even fucking continue? You probably get the point. I've never spent so long just trying to explain one single thing. And you know what? I think the fact that I don't really know what I'm trying to say isn't helping with that as a problem. I guess the whole basis of it, this is going to be the last time I'm going to explain it, because you probably are already beyond sick of hearing about it. Both levels are centered around the same ability, so it feels like they have very similar gameplay mechanics, because they do, obviously. But because of how they're so different from each other in their execution, it feels like a completely different stage as a whole, I guess. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Because you know what? I've had a very rough week. Oh. 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 Where the fuck am I? Okay, I'm over here now. I didn't see the red walls from before, so I just kind of got lost, I guess.
Up to Daisy.
That was on me. That was on me, and nobody else. Anyway, regardless, I don't want to get too much into it, but as I said,
Okay.
I've had somewhat of a rough week. And what's even more fucked up is that it's only Wednesday. Now I'm getting a little annoyed. It's only Wednesday, and things have not been great. I'm not gonna go too much into detail because you probably don't care, but college classes starting up again, suddenly super busy. I'm not sure how fucking long it's gonna take for me to record these because of that. I mean, I'm already barely able to fucking record them when I don't have other shit getting in the way. So, God knows how fucking long it's gonna take for me to get motivated enough to actually do it now. But regardless, on top of that, today my car got stuck in a fucking ditch. So that's fun. I'm not gonna go into the full story, but I was trying to get my car fucking smog checked or whatever. I don't know much about cars. I'm just reading, or not reading, but like, I'm just saying the words that I'm told. I don't know specifically what a smog check is, but I know it's a car thing. But regardless, I was going to get my smog checked so I can re-register my car or whatever, because for some reason they just need it specifically to be checked this time, but they didn't need it last time. Sure, whatever. I tried to use Apple Maps to get there. That was a fucking mistake. It took me on the weirdest path to get there. And when I quote-unquote got there, aka reached the end of the map, I wasn't anywhere fucking close. I don't know how, I don't know why, but the map just didn't put me at the right place. It said it was on my left, and I was in like a fucking neighborhood. So I don't know how that happened, but sure. What is fucking shooting at me? Really? All the way over there, and he's fucking shooting at me. And I probably already missed my ride now, too. Son of a bitch. I have to fucking pay attention now, because if I don't, then I'm gonna get shot in the back, and I'm gonna die because of this guy that's not even supposed to be here anymore. Okay. We're fine. We were in the clear, I think. Regardless, yeah, my fucking map took me to pretty much the middle of nowhere and was like, you're here, go get your smog check or whatever the fuck. I had to try to figure out where I was going just based off of that. And the thing is, I live in a desert, so I can't tell whether or not a dirt road is an actual dirt road, or it's just a random patch of dirt that leads nowhere. It's like a complete 50-50 guess whether or not it's gonna be an actual road or just a dirt patch. Spoilers, it was a dirt patch, and my car sunk. Luckily, the people at the place were super helpful, and I was able to... they were able to help me out, and then I fell into another sinkhole like 2 feet away from it. To be fair, it's not like I just drove poorly that time. I was following his instructions, and we just didn't know that another patch of sand was about to sink on me. But it did, so we had to deal with that, and two other random people who were just driving down the street nearby saw this happening, and they just so happened to have a winch on their truck. So... I've had an eventful day, considering the fact that I did absolutely fucking nothing interesting today. It's been rough, and that's not even, like, the beginning of what's been going on this week. I mean, it's just been... I don't know how to say this, other than how Arizona would say it. It's going, and it's been. It's been rough, is what I'm trying to say. So I figured I would record this, or just generally do something to help me relax a little bit. Because, I mean, fuck, dude. But regardless, we're gonna keep going on, and I haven't really said a fucking thing about this level yet, because I've just been so... I just had to get all of that off of my chest, because it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's just what I've been dealing with today. So, I don't know when these videos are gonna get out, but I hope that regardless of when you're watching this, or even if you're watching this, I don't even know, I hope that your day is going better than mine. Not that that's a high bar, exactly. I just hope you're having a good day, because I have not. Regardless... Okay. As I was saying before he disappeared and that cutscene triggered, this part of the game is fucking disgusting. I'm sure you've already noticed it, but yeah, gross. Probably didn't have to point this out, and I probably already pointed it out on the last episode. But like, just this whole section, this whole thing, this whole situation. I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm not a fan of it, though. I mean, if it's your thing, I'm not gonna judge. You do you, but like, I'm not into this. Okay, this part, I remember being a giant pain in the ass. So what's going on here is that you have a bunch of different springs. There's like 4 different springboards. No, there's 5. And they all go to like different locations based off of whether or not you've spun their little things. These little bowling things right here. And you have to get them in like a very specific order, I think. Otherwise, you're just going to be bouncing around all over the damn place. And I think the worst part is, if I remember correctly, there's a treasure chest here. So if you're going for 100% of this, fucking good luck, dude. I don't even remember what the combo was. I think maybe it's just supposed to be raising all of them, but I think if you're going for a treasure chest... Is there even a treasure chest here? I don't remember. Okay, no, that's not right. Oh, there's a treasure chest over there. That's probably for something else, though. It's fine. I'm not going for all the treasure chests anyway. I'll grab which ones I can, but I'm not gonna go out of my way, except for, like, if I want to show you something ridiculously bullshit. And even then, I think because I'm gonna be trying to show you the bullshit, it's probably just not even gonna let me get to the treasure chest. I already mentioned this. We're not 100%ing this, because this game is fucking absurd. Like, I tried to 100% the slide stage on the last video, and I nearly lost my goddamn mind. I'm not gonna say that that's part of the reason why I haven't recorded one of these in a while, because, spoilers, I haven't recorded one of these in a while. Not that you would know. But, regardless, I'm not gonna say that that was the sole reason why, but I am going to say that it wasn't... that it's at least somewhat part of it. I don't even remember if there was a treasure chest over there, but if there was, we missed it. For fuck's sake. I'm all fucked up with trying to use cameras because I recently streamed, Celeste 64, Fragments of the Mountain? I think that's what it's called. Which, for one thing, good game, even if it is a short game, clearly just like a little Celeste celebration thing. But also, the camera controls got me all fucked up because it's like, in this game when you push the direction with the stick, the camera goes in that direction. In Celeste 64, it goes like the opposite. And it's always hard switching back and forth between those two types of things. Especially because that's the last 3D platformer I've played. So my mind's just kind of locked into that state. But weirdly enough, just with the camera, I guess? I don't know. It's hard to wrap your head around this shit sometimes. Anyway, remember those arena challenges? We're doing one of those now, except it's part of the stage, and I don't think we get any rewards for it. I guess this is... why do I always try to start, like... I always try to start sentences as if I've always... like I was already in the middle of one, sometimes. Usually. It's usually when I'm just recording on my own, you know? I just get thrown off, I guess. Regardless. I feel like this is probably a big reason why I don't like the battle arena challenges in this game. Not only because this game doesn't exactly have the most well thought out combat. Like, obviously it's not... combat isn't the focus in this game. But also, another big reason is just because they already kind of have them. So, like, you have to do it twice as much as you would probably want to. Because you have to do it both for the combat arena challenges, so you can get bonus tokens, so you can unlock abilities and shit to progress in this game. But then also you have to do it just to complete certain stages. Like in Battle for Bikini Bottom, they would kind of do the same thing, like with the lighthouse in downtown Bikini Bottom. But the thing is, not only would you be able to progress the game by doing that, but you would also still get the golden spatula for just doing it once. So it's not just wasting your time with like 8 of them. Or just doing the same thing over and over. You know? I'm always so harsh with this game. And like, sure, I kind of have a reason for it, because I'm usually just pointing out problems with it. But at the same time, it's like, this game isn't terrible. It's not even really that bad, honestly. But I'm always just complaining about it, and it really makes the game seem a lot worse than it actually is. Honestly, I do enjoy this game. But it's just got problems. Like, this is interesting, I guess. Like a little mini-boss fight. I don't think the... No, the main game did have mini-boss fights, like King Jellyfish and shit. Actually, that's something I always thought was weird about this game. There's not really any boss fights in this. Like, sure, that was a mini-boss. But, like, Battle for Bikini Bottom had so many boss fights. And, like, I get that I keep complaining about the game's, combat. But I feel like boss fights are different because it's a more unique way of using the different characters' abilities and such. I don't have the throw ability. But this game doesn't really do that very much. The first game has a bunch of bosses. There's the 3 main bosses, the robot versions of the main characters. And then there was also like a bunch of little mini bosses and shit just sprinkled throughout the game in all sorts of different places. There was like Prawn and, again, the Murmelair, or there was, as previously mentioned, King Jellyfish and Jellyfish Fields. Those were a good way to break up the pace of the game and to actually make combat a little bit more interesting in that game. This one doesn't really do that very much. I think there's only like 4 bosses, and we've already faced one of them. I think there's 2 more, or there's 2 against Dennis, and then there's just the final boss, if I remember correctly. We're actually pretty close to the end of the game, now that I think about it. Like, there's one more stage after this, the first Dennis boss fight, and then there's... oh god, and then there's a sliding level and a drive level, one after another, in the opposite order of that. And then there's like... oh yeah, and then there's the second Dennis boss fight, and then there's another driving level, which I'm actually kind of a fan of, for one very specific reason that I'll get into when we get there. So, be ready for that, I guess. And then there's, like, just the final level, and then the final boss. I fucked up! Oh, this is sad. Anyway, yeah. So we're not actually that close, or we're not actually that far. We're around halfway, I would say. Ish. Kind of. I don't know the exact length of this game, honestly. Like, I just listed off the entire rest of the game, but I don't know specifically how long everything takes. Especially because some of those stages are a lot more difficult than others. For better or for worse. But we're gonna get through this. I've tried to get through this so many times now. Like, I'm not gonna fucking... I'm not giving up on this shit. God, I used to record YouTube series all the fucking time. I had so many. I had fucking Battle from Bikini Bottom, Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights, fucking Haunted Mansion. That game was good. I want to play that game again. Not even for the channel, just on my own time. It's like... it's hard to explain, but that game's really good. It's pretty much just a bootleg Luigi's Mansion, but it's fun.
Escaped the trench full of hideous, disgusting monsters. Meanwhile, Dennis continues to follow our heroes. Some unsavory types attempt to get in his way, but he manages to reason with them. And so, like 2 tin cans in a trash compactor, Spongebob and Patrick continue on, blissfully unaware of the danger closing in on them. Standing in their way is a field full of stanky garbage, but with Shell City somewhere on the other side, they have no choice but to push on.
Alright, so this whole next section of the game, never in the actual movie. There's gonna be a couple sections like that. Like, you've probably already figured out from the fact that there's 2 more driving levels and we already lost the paddy wagon.
To brainwash unsuspecting ocean creatures. You must destroy those televisions.
But, like, they had to make changes to the plot just so that they can add more levels to the game. So it wasn't incredibly short.
Patrick, if you want to destroy those TVs, you'll need to learn to pick up and throw objects. You need more Goofy Goober tokens before I can teach you.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Give you these rocks instead?
Sorry, Patrick. They've got to be tokens.
Forget.
Here we go again! Okay, let's go back to the... Do we have any abilities we can use on other stages? Let's just go back to the driving stage. It's easy, it's relatively quick. I should be able to get some quick tokens out of this. God, it sure is obnoxious how much this game makes you go back to get shit. Like, unless you're going through with the intent of 100%ing this game, you're probably gonna have to go back a few times.
Challenge?
And the worst part is, if you're trying to go for 100%, you can't even, like, blow through everything. Like, you can't just do it one level at a time. Because at some point you're gonna have to go forward so you can get the next ability, so you can go back, so you can use that ability.
I'm challenged all the time.
Relatable.
Good one, buddy.
Yeah. Wait, what?
You'll have a set time limit to get to the end of the road. If you finish in less than the set time, I'll reward you.
Alright, let's try to get at least one of these done before the end of the episode. Yeah, that should be fine. 4 minutes. I want to get at least a couple done, so that way I can just flow right onto the next level without having to go grinding in the... like, words. I sure am someone who likes to talk a lot for someone who can't fucking do it. What's the next one? Okay, what I'm trying to say is... I want to try to get at least a couple of these tokens, so that way I don't have to have a bunch of off time without recording, where I'm just collecting a bunch of tokens. It shouldn't be that bad, because we were only like 2 behind. But at the same time, I still don't want to waste your guys' time all that much. Or words. I want to show you the game, and I want you guys to see what's going on. So I don't want to just cut stuff out. But at the same time, I don't want to waste your time by just having like 8 extra episodes where I'm just going back and grinding for shit. Another big reason why I'm not 100%ing this game, by the way. And my god, I say that so much. But like, it's important to point that out. This game is a pain in the ass sometimes. So it's not worth getting everything in this game. I mean, unless you're, like, really dedicated or really want to do it. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but if you want to go through, get everything, more power to you. I mean, overall, it's a pretty good time, honestly. Even if there are some parts that are just a giant pain in the ass. It's really hard for me to balance what I want to say about this game, you know? Like, there's so many things that I have problems with, and so many things that I dislike about it. But really, I love this game. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. It has problems, I know it's not great, but honestly, I love it. Like, sure, obviously every game has its problems, and sure, obviously it's important to address those. But this game really is just a perfect game for someone who wants more Battle for Bikini Bottom. If you've ever played that game and you want more of it, then by all means, go right ahead and go try to get this game. I would highly recommend it. Oh god, I would not recommend doing this. But I would recommend playing this game, and it's just overall a really good time, and it's very clear that even if there is some jank here and there and some problems, it's clear that devs put a lot of time and effort and love into this, and I miss when this was what the benchmark for gaming was. I mean, it wasn't, but like, I miss when this sort of game, this quality of game, was considered like shitty movie licensed games. Like, this used to be like meh way back when. I feel like this is probably gonna be a hot take. I feel like a lot of the time, games don't have this sort of love and care into it these days.
Mindy, we're ready. What do we do?
Rings will appear on the road. Go through each ring before it disappears. If you get through them all, I'll reward you.
I don't mean to be so negative about the modern gaming environment or whatever, but like, I feel like besides, like, indie devs, a lot of games don't really feel like they have the same sort of passion put into them. I know that sounds really stupid. Well, I mean, I don't know, I feel like it sounds stupid coming out of my mouth, specifically. But at the same time, it's like,
So much destruction.
I feel like a lot of the time, especially with, like, AAA games, there's just not as much love and care put into them as with this kind of shit. Sure, it might not be the best game, but you can tell that the developers really fucking cared. And I feel like sometimes that's not really the case with more modern games. And I mean, sure, sometimes it's not even really, like, the developer's fault or anything. Like, for example, the remake of Battle for Bikini Bottom was rushed because they were trying to release it in time with the... Which movie was it? One of the newer Spongebob movies. I stopped watching modern Spongebob a while ago. I think back, like, season 8, maybe? Back when I was still, you know, young enough to be watching modern SpongeBob. No offense to anyone who watches modern SpongeBob. If you enjoy it, good for you. That's not my point here. I don't really watch it anymore. Regardless, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated was rushed to be in time with that movie, which, ignoring the whole irony of that not actually happening because the movie had to get delayed because of COVID and everything, it's just kind of sad that... I'm getting off topic. It's sad that game probably... The developers of that probably did have the same sort of passion and love for the game and the series as a whole, but at the same time, you would never really get to see it because... Oh, fuck. Because of something that was beyond the developer's control. And I feel like that's just kind of a general problem as a whole. Obviously, it's sad when games don't have the same amount of passion, but I feel like it's even more disappointing when the game could have had the same amount of passion, but something got in the way. For example, I'm not going to linger on this too much, but Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be honest with you, I love that game. I loved it when it came out, and admittedly, it does have a little bit of a special place in my heart, purely because I bought it as a comfort game after my dad died. Don't want to linger on that too long. But regardless, ignoring that, it really is a pretty decently made game. It's very fun and enjoyable, and it had some interesting concepts and additions and things. But the game just immediately got written off as being total shit because the game was very buggy at launch. And yeah, that's fair, but at the same time, it's not really Game Freak's fault, is it? That Pokemon Company is forcing them to shove out a new Pokemon game every single year. That's just... I feel like it's not right to blame Game Freak for that. You know, because I played that game, and it's clear there was a lot of passion and love put into that. But it came out as a buggy, laggy mess because Pokemon Company wouldn't let them fucking finish the game! I'm salty about that. I'm a little bit very salty about that. Someone should start a fucking petition or something. Something needs to be done about that! And it makes me sad that Pokemon isn't getting the love it deserves from its developers because they're not being given the time to do that. Ah! My point is, TLDR, modern games I don't feel like a lot of modern games really get to the same quality that older games do. I'm not saying that's an objective fact, but I am saying that, like, a lot of AAA developers or a lot of big corporations and things feel like they don't really care as much because a lot of time it just feels like they don't. I don't know, or maybe I'm just a fucking idiot. I don't know. All this is besides the point. What is the point is that it's the end of the episode, and I got very emotional, both over the gaming market and my dad. So I'm just gonna end this one off here before I start crying on camera. I'm not actually, but I'm not feeling great. Wow, I made my wake... Breathe. Calm down. I made my week even worse on my own terms. Good for me. Ugh. I'm gonna end this one off here. Thank you everyone who decided to stick around and deal with my bullshit, stupid rantings. We're gonna get through this game eventually. And the next time I record an episode of this, I'm gonna be having a better week, and I'm gonna be in a better mood. And I apologize for that whole fucking rant and emotional breakdown near the end. Not really an emotional breakdown. You get what I'm trying to say. Regardless, I'm ending this one off here. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.